Elias sat in his study. He listened to the rhythm of the clock on the wall. Tick, tock, tick, tock. It was the only sound in the apartment. For 3 months, this silence had been his roommate. The room was dim, lit only by a single street lamp outside that cast long geometric shadows across the floorboards. Across from him stood the red velvet armchair. It was Clara's chair, high-backed, soft, and vibrant. In a room painted in shades of charcoal and deep blue, that chair was a wound that refused to close. Elias stared at it. He half expected to see her silhouette curling up with a book, her messy hair catching the light. But the chair remained empty. Its smooth surface was undisturbed, mocking him with its perfection. Clara had left on a Tuesday. There was no shouting. Just the quiet click of the front door closing. No breaking of plates, a sound that echoed louder in Elias's memory than any scream. She had taken the color with her, leaving Elias in a world of grays. Outside, the storm began. Heavy rain lashed against the windowpane. It blurred the city lights into smudges of gold and silver. A crack of thunder shook the room. Elias flinched. He stood up, pacing the floor. The apartment felt too big. The air felt too thin. He needed to do something. He needed to erase the traces. He walked over to the small wooden table beside the red chair. There lay her bookmark. A strip of green paper tucked inside a novel she never finished. Next to it was her scarf, a tangled heap of wool. "I should pack these away," Elias whispered to the empty room. "I should put them in a box and tape it shut." He reached out. His hand trembled slightly. He picked up the scarf. It still smelled faintly of vanilla and old rain. A wave of grief hit him, sharp and cold, threatening to pull him under. He closed his eyes, gripping the wool tightly. If he removed these things, maybe the silence would stop screaming her name. But as he pulled the scarf away, something caught his eye. Hidden behind the heavy velvet curtain on the windowsill was a small clay pot. Elias had forgotten it existed. It was a plant Clara had bought weeks before she left. He moved closer. The soil was dry, cracked like a desert floor. The leaves were brown and brittle, curling inward as if protecting themselves from the cold. But there, right in the center, was a tiny speck of green. A single new leaf was uncurling, despite the darkness, despite the neglect, despite the overwhelming sadness of the house. It was trying to survive. It was reaching for a light that was not there. Elias stood frozen. He looked at the dying plant, then at the empty red chair, and finally at the scarf in his hand. He realized he had been trying to turn his life into a clean, empty page. He wanted to cut out the painful parts, but life is not about empty spaces. He put the scarf down gently. He picked up the glass of water from his desk. He poured a small stream into the dry soil. The earth hissed softly as it drank. Elias picked up the pot. He carried it across the room. He placed it squarely on the seat of the red velvet armchair. The chair was no longer empty. It held something fragile, something that needed him. Elias sat back down in his own seat. The clock continued to tick, but the rhythm felt different now. It was not counting down to nothing. It was counting forward. He watched the tiny green leaf in the shadows. And for the first time in 90 days, Elias breathed. The storm outside raged on, but inside the winter was finally over.